So the purpose of this video is to clarify the instructions on this scored assignment that's a global warming public service announcement poster. And so a public service announcement poster is like what it sounds like, right? It's going to be sending a message to the public about an important issue. And you've heard me say a lot that environmental issues is for sure our most important unit, because no matter what your career choice will be down the road, everyone needs a planet that will provide for us, will provide our natural resources. And so my vision with these posters is to actually hang them, print them for you once you submit it, and hang them in the hallway as an awareness project for our school. And so let's check out, first of all, the rubric. So the assignment that you have here is to choose one consequence of global warming from the image analysis assignment. So you analyzed 11, and I did the first one for you as an example, but you can use that if you want to in your poster. So you have really 12 global warming consequences to choose from. And you're going to create a public service announcement poster that educates others about that consequence and gives the people a reason to care about it. So now let's check out the two scores that you're going to get on this assignment. The first one is the academic standard, and I need to see from your poster a deep understanding of global warming consequences. The chosen issue is obvious from the poster, like I don't wonder which one of the 12 you were using, and then the reason to care about it is also obvious from the poster. Now, the quality of work score is the second thing. And so we already have a quality of work score for our plate tectonics project. This will be our second quality of work score this grading period. So here's really what I'm looking for, that the choices of the words and the colors and the images are well done. And I want to look at this and say, yes, this is my student's best work. And at this point in the year, that is honestly not tough for me to judge. Like, I know what your best work, I know what you're capable of. Okay, so make sure it is your best work. Let me show you a couple of examples of public service announcements around environmental issues, not necessarily specific to global warming, although that one is. Okay, so here is an example of a public service announcement poster, and it says, "Stop the plastic tide." So can we clearly tell the environmental issue? And I would say yes to that. Like plastic tides, there shouldn't be plastic when the tide comes rolling up. So this is plastics pollution in the ocean. Now, do we have something in the imagery here that tells us why we should care about it? And to me, you notice that this turtle is all wrapped up, and then you also notice underneath the water how it's looking like a dead turtle, right? Just a skeleton, not a live one. So we can see an obvious impact in wildlife. And even down here, the bottom of the ocean is littered and gross looking, and it makes us kind of wonder what would be the consequence for any bottom dwelling creatures. So look again at why this would score double fours. Can I tell what the environmental issue is? Yes, it's about plastics pollution. Can I tell why I should care about it? Because of the harm to wildlife. And you can see that this would be an example of best work. Now, here's what I want you to notice, though. How many words? Right? Like just 4. Stop the plastic tide. Public service announcement posters don't write paragraphs about it. They use imagery to make you understand the environmental issue. Okay, so here's one more. And by the way, this is an important issue, but this is not a global warming one, right? This is an example of another environmental issue, plastics pollution in the ocean. Now, this is one that I honestly have seen on the highway on Route 16. And so notice this one has 2 different images, and it says polar opposites. And then just in little words here, protect the Arctic's future. And so can we tell what the environmental issue is? Well, it looks like drilling for fossil fuels is harmful to habitats, would be like the environmental issue, habitat destruction. And then can you tell why we should care about it? I would say yes, because you're looking this polar bear right in the eyes, and this would be an example of best work. Now let's get into this. Especially this one that I saw on Route 16 is like a professionally done, I'm sure, by professional artists. I'm not expecting it to look like that. Here's what I'm expecting to see. Look at it again, that you have a deep understanding of the global warming consequence. So when I say now it's your turn, on the next slide, you're going to create your poster. And here's the trickiest part. You may only use one image from Google Images. one. Now, you don't have to use Google Images at all. So let's say that you were making something like this. Well, maybe your Google image, you would want it to be, or maybe this actually, maybe you'd want your Google image to be like the whole background water, and then you create the other things in it. Or maybe you think that turtle would be the thing you'd want to make most realistic. So you can use one Google image if you want. Now, the reason that this is in a Google presentation instead of a Google Doc, it's way more user friendly for you to use auto shapes or the draw package. And here's the other thing I want you to know. You can do your own drawings. You can actually draw the entire poster and take a picture of it and just put that picture onto that slide for me to print. So you don't have to use Google Images at all. Now, you're going to insert text boxes for the words in your poster. And again, there won't be a lot of words, but the words you pick should send a powerful message. So as a student starting out, here's what I would definitely do first. You have to, you know how when we do our project, you have the prep questions, what you show you know? Well, for this, you've got to go back to the assignment, the image analysis about the consequences of global warming. Open that up. Read through all the consequences again. Think about which one maybe is the most important to you, and that's the one you want to do. Or maybe one where you're like, oh my gosh, I can quickly see the images that I would use in my public service announcement poster. Or maybe it's one where like the wording right away just pops into your mind, and then you can develop the imagery as it goes. And of course, let's say you pick one. Like, let's say that you pick the one about houses on the coast being destroyed as sea level rises, and you're working it, and you're like, this is harder than I thought. This isn't, go back, right? You have 11 other choices. And when I say 11 others, even within some of those consequences, there was more than one. So just don't get frustrated. If you pick one and it's not working, go ahead and pick another one. Remember, this is a scored assignment, and I'm here to help if you need it. Send me an email.